Nuclear Throne, you play one of the many mutants seeking to reach, you guessed it, the Nuclear Throne. Although there is no story given to you why this is relevant, it doesn't matter, because this is one of those games where its highlight is very much the gameplay. It's a challenging top-down shooter roguelike with many satisfying weapons and with an upgrade system that involves mutating yourself in this radioactive wasteland. What's not to like? I'd sure want that second stomach upgrade for all the food I eat.
Prepare for combat.
Now, I wouldn't call myself a Blizzard fanboy, but I have played their games from Warcraft 3 onwards and have loved the characters in them, and that's what this game is about. Heroes of the Storm is a tribute to Blizzard games old and new, and although I've played the big mobile leader League of Legends on and off for many years now, I find myself playing Heroes of the Storm because I care about the characters I can play. And with the emphasis on map control, it means I'm playing against the other players sooner and more often as opposed to farming minions for money. That's the other aspect I love. With no items to worry about, it makes for an easier learning curve for new mobile players to jump into, and a much more relaxed game for a veteran like me. It may not be the big MOBA out there, but a game that lets me play Arthas 13 years after Warcraft 3 The Frozen Throne is a game I'm gonna play. P.S. Lost Vikings rule. For any of you who've watched Top Gear, you may have seen various times where they take a bunch of hatchbacks and play five-a-side car football. Now I have a small hatchback myself, but I doubt I'll be doing that anytime soon. Guess I'll have to settle for Rocket League. This game needs a little explanation. You play football with a car, but unlike its real-life counterpart, your cars are actually rather nimble, able to do instant rolls, backflips, and even fly. There is very much skill in the game, from straight up driving to calculating angles, but what made this game really fun for me was playing it with friends where we'd just be having some friendly banter, straight up insulting each other every time we messed up. If there was an own goal, it was probably Nick, and I do recall Hans managing to get 0 points in an entire match. I'm sure he was there, but obviously he wasn't pulling his weight. Or any weight for that matter. It's one of those easy to play, hard to master games, which has led to some hilarious bonding moments between friends, and that's why it's my number 3 for Game of the Year. This is the biggest game on my list, the third part of Blizzard's StarCraft 2 series, and you'd think as a Protoss player I'd be excited to play them in the campaign, but funnily enough, that's not the reason why it's here on my list. Sure, I loved the campaign and appreciated all the details they had, but variety is the reason why I enjoyed this game. I can be playing the campaign, then maybe I'm tryharding 1v1 ranked, cheesing people in Archon mode, or more likely, enjoying other people's fruits of labor in the arcade mode. Picking up Legacy of the Void meant I got reminded of the hard work the community plays in creating custom games. Maybe my friends and I would be playing good old tower defense, then skating some banelings on ice, and then playing some ice hockey. A game that has great single player, a competitive multiplayer, and also nurtures the community's creativity deserves to be on this list. Now if they had stuck with their roll-off-the-tongue HOTS abbreviation like Heart of the Swarm and Heroes of the Storm, then maybe this could have been number 1.
About to play the greatest game in the world, Blood Bowl.
Blood Bowl was a game I was always curious about, a more violent American football played in a fantasy setting, and so when Blood Bowl 2 came out, I was more than happy to give it a go. It sort of scratches that roguelike itch where your characters can die instantly due to some unfortunate dice rolling. There's dice rolling in most games, usually hidden in the background, but there is something really daunting about seeing dice being rolled above your characters to decide their fate. Some may argue it's a purely RNG game, but it's really a game about managing risk, playing safe unless the situation calls for it. I've beaten much higher value teams even as the same race purely because they thought they could steamroll my team without caring for the risks they'd be taking. It's a game that has such suspense that you wait for dice to be resolved. Sounds silly, but I compare it to one of my favourite games of recent time, XCOM. They are both games where it's the small stories of your men getting slaughtered or pulling a clutch victory that make it truly memorable, and my game of the year. For all your sakes, I hope you've all praised Nuffle.
And it can be thrown by a troll. Doesn't really work often, but it's funny.
Oh dear! Well, that's an embarrassing way to finish a career. As a sandwich man.